name is Kiana. I go by all pronouns, and I'm a resident yoga teacher for the SF LGBT Center. Thank you for joining our emotional support practice series. Today, we have a practice for you centered around joy and leaning into positivity, and I'm super excited to share this practice with you. Let's get started.
So as you're ready, find a comfortable seat. I like to find a cross-legged position. Sometimes it can be helpful to have a block underneath your hips. But take a moment to ground into your sits bones, maybe close the eyes or lower your gaze. You can place your hands face down on the earth to ground. Take a moment here. Maybe notice the sounds around you. Notice the breath within you. And take a moment to notice the shoulders. Can you slide them down the back a little bit further? Notice the spine. As you root here, maybe you start to think about a time of joy, a moment that brought you happiness. Start to deepen your breath here. Deep inhale. Slowly exhaling, releasing and letting go. One more time. Let something go on the exhale. Come back to that moment of joy, that moment of happiness. Is it a person? Is it a feeling, a place, a color? Maybe as you think about that, you notice the sounds around you. For me, it's the waves crashing. Maybe you hear a siren or a distraction. How can you stay with joy even through that? Staying here, noticing the breath. Feel an openness across the heart, across the chest. Allow yourself to be present with joy in yourself. Maybe notice where you feel it in your body. Creating an awareness of the self. Stay here in this seat. Breathing into joy, filling up through the belly, the ribs, the chest, and exhaling, the chest fall, the ribs fall, navel comes toward the spine. Another time, belly, ribs, and chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. One more time, a deep inhale. Fill up through the entirety of the torso. Slow exhale. Then place the hands on the heart, showing gratitude for yourself. Maybe pressing slightly inward as if you were giving your heart a hug. Know that showing up on your mat is enough. We'll take one more breath together. Take a deep inhale. And a slow exhale. Tapping into gratitude. Remembering joy. Maybe asking yourself how you can continue to practice joy as we continue to flow. And then meet me in tabletop position. In tabletop, your shoulders are over your wrists, your hips are over your knees. Find a little bit of contraction in the core and press into the fingertips to take weight out of the wrists. Find cow pose, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, tailbone up. On an exhale, find cat, press the earth away, chin to chest, navel to spine. Again, inhaling, finding cow pose, gaze forward. Exhaling, finding cat, pressing the earth away. Do this a couple more times at the pace of your own breath, finding the undulations of the spine, noticing how the breath allows you to help. As you're ready, find child's pose. Allow your hips to sink towards your heels. Can you notice the breath in the back body here? And extend your fingertips just a little bit more forward. Relax the head, relax the neck, relax the spine. Then as you're ready, walk your hands over to the right. Feeling length into that left side body, rooting into that left hip. Allow your breath to support you here. Inhaling and exhaling. Then inhale, come back to center. On an exhale, walk your hands over to the left. This time rooting into that right sits bone. Feeling the capacity of the right ribs. Once again, allowing your head and neck to relax and your hips to slide further towards your heels. One more breath. Slowly come back to center. Fully rest for just a moment, an intentional pause. Child's pose is here anytime you need it. So listen to your body and take what you need. Slowly roll back up to tabletop position. This time tuck the toes and find hovering tabletop. The knees are about an inch or two off of the earth. Find a slight puff through the back body of the chest. Stay here for a couple breaths. Then engage the core. Notice the sensation. Where does your mind go? Just a little bit longer than downward facing dog. Take a moment to pedal out to the feet, bending one knee and then the other, continuing to press into those fingertips. Noticing here, then finding stillness, allowing your hips to come up and back. Allow your head to release. If you hyperextend your elbows like I do, maybe find a micro bend, then slowly roll forward and meet me in plank. Do that a couple more times. Flowing forward and back. From downward facing dog to plank. Notice your core. Finding the engagement there. And slowly pressing back from downward facing dog. Step forward and meet me in a forward fold at the top of your mat. Find ragdoll pose. Fingertips come to inner elbow creases. Find a deep bend in the knees. Allow your head to hang heavy. Rock from side to side. Then release your fingertips to the earth. Halfway lift. Slowly release. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. Gaze up, look up. Exhale, Tadasana. Hands through heart center. Land here in your mountain pose. Noticing your breath, tapping back into that moment of joy. How can you be present here? Take a moment for gratitude and a cleansing breath. Let something go on an exhale. Hands land by the side. Find your Tadasana. at the top of your mat. Then inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Arms come up, gaze up, look up. Exhale, dive it forward and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. On the exhale, we release and step back to plank. Stay here, then inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes, press through the tops of the feet. Inhale, find cobra. On an exhale, slowly release. Tuck the toes once more, press through tabletop or plank. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Beautiful. When you get there, land, notice the breath, and tap back into happiness and joy. Slowly step forward, meet me at the top of your mat in a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold and release. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms come up and overhead, look at the sun. Hands through heart center, Tadasana. And hands by the side, inhale, arms up, gaze up, look up. Exhale, dive forward and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, step back to plank. You can lower the knees or lower all the way down. Inhale, find cobra, press through the pelvis and the tops of the feet. Then meet me back in downward facing dog. When you arrive there, notice the breath. We'll do one more sun salutation. As you're ready, look forward, meet me at the top of the mat. In a forward fold, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, slowly release. Allow the low back to relax. Then inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands come through heart center. Landing back in your Tadasana, hands by your side. Last time. Feel the rootedness in the feet. Notice the breath. How can you take joy with you as you flow here? Inhale, arms come all the way up. Exhale, dive it forward and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Step back to plank. Find your flow, your vinyasa. We will meet in downward facing dog. When it comes to joy, it can be fleeting. So how can we be present with it? Notice your down dog. Can you press into the fingertips? Take a little bit of weight out of the wrists. Then gaze forward, step forward. Meet me in that forward fold, ragdoll pose. Find that sway. Head hanging heavy, rocking from side to side, maybe like the waves of the ocean. Release the fingertips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and fold. Slowly rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Arms come all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center, Tadasana. Hands land by your side. Notice the breath. Deep inhale. Slow exhale. Feel the rootedness of the feet. A moment of pause as you notice the body. Then inhale, arms come all the way up. On the exhale, cactus, the arms, elbows come to 90 degrees. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands come to heart center. We're going to be doing breath of joy. It's one of my favorite breaths. It is a 3-part inhale with an audible exhale. So it looks like this. Take a look. Inhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, 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 exhale. This is a very energy activating breath. With any breath work, if this feels wrong or doesn't feel good in your body, don't do it. So listen to yourself. Anything I'm asking is an invitation. Find your stance. Then, as you're ready, Fill up. Inhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, 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 exhale, inhale, 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 exhale. Keep going at the pace of your own breath. Feel free to speed it up or slow it down. Noticing how the body feels and moves. A couple more times. We got this. Exhale, full release. Full release. Inhale, exhale. Last time. Or not. Keep it going. Then as you're ready, arms come all the way up. Notice the energy in the body. Feel a rootedness in the feet. Notice how your body feels from this movement, and then as you're ready on an exhale, release the fingertips down. How did that breath make you feel? And how can you tap into the joy of this moment? Returning to your natural breath. Allowing yourself to take a deep inhale and a slow exhale. Releasing. Place the hands on top of the heart. Allowing yourself to settle. Maybe tapping into a moment of gratitude. Landing here. Take one more inhale. And a long, slow exhale. Then guide the arms up and overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Dive it forward and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back to plank. Staying here in plank, find engagement in the core, puff through the back body of the chest, stay high on the toes. Breathing here, take a moment to notice. Roll forward, shift forward, lower all the way down, untuck the toes. Take an inhale, find cobra. On an exhale, slowly release. Take tabletop or plank, you meet back in downward facing dog. Maybe pedal out and adjust your dog. Pressing into the fingertips. Inhale, left leg lifts. Go ahead and roll through that hip and add in some hip circles. Then find three-legged dog. Bring the left knee into the chest and plant it in between the hands. You can go ahead and lower that back knee, come into a low lunge, guiding the fingertips up and overhead, deep bend in that front knee. Notice the side body here, find length through the fingertips, a press in that back shin, maybe engagement in that back glute, guiding the hips forward. Lift the fingertips, then cactus the arms. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we cactus. Engage the back body here. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, cactus last time. Inhale, arms rise once more. Then take it down. Framing that front foot. Tuck the back toes. Step back to plank. Noticing the sensation in plank. Then go straight to downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Shifting the hips. Then lower, find child's pose. Hips sink towards the heels, fingertips come forward. How can you relax your head? And in this pose, how can you also tap into joy? Did you forget about her? Landing in your child's pose. Then as you're ready, shift from tabletop into downward facing dog. Inhale, this time right leg rises. Plant the foot in between the chest, lower back knee. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Crescent lunge, low crescent lunge on the other side. Press into that front foot, deep bend in that front knee, hips come forward. Press into that back shin, and if you engage into that back glute, it will create a little bit more sensation in the front hip. Cactusing the arm. Do that 2 more times, just like on the other side. Can you feel the engagement in the back body here? Inhale, arms up, take it forward. Tuck the back toes, step back to plank. Child's pose, land. Full release. Remember joy. Remember gratitude. Know that joy returns. Breathing here. Allowing your breath to deepen. Notice where your mind goes as you land here. Can you find just a little bit more length through the fingertips, through the crown of the head? Can you feel the full capacity of the breath on the front body, the back body, and both side bodies? So from child's pose, go ahead and transition to downward facing dog. Take as much time as you need to get there. Then as you're ready, inhale, 3-legged dog, lift your left leg. Exhale, knee comes into the chest. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, left knee comes to left elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee comes through. Go ahead and step it in between the hands. Notice your stance. We're going for a train track more than a tightrope. Then inhale, rise all the way up, land in your crescent lunge. Hug the inner thighs together. Allow your shoulders to go down your back body and find length through the side body. Start to cactus the arms, spreading through the fingertips, feeling the engagement. Then this will be our inhale. As you exhale, we'll curl our elbows towards each other. Inhale to open. Exhale, we curl. Feel the shoulders here. Last time, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, guide your prayer upwards. Exhale, find your warrior two. Adjust your stance as needed. Heel to heel or heel in between the back arch. Stretch through the fingertips. Allow your shoulders to melt. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, find extended side angle. Triangle. Triangle pose. Straightening through that front leg. Guiding your fingertips up towards the sky. Maybe not back like mine are. Maybe they're in line with each other. Taking a moment to notice the breath. Then inhale, reverse your triangle. Find length in that side body. Then as you're ready, start to swivel those front toes toward the long edge of the mat. Big circle, land in a wide-legged forward fold. Allow your head to hang heavy, fingertips come to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and release. Maybe a micro bend in those knees. Then find any intuitive movement that speaks to you. That can be a shift from side to side. Notice how it feels to have your hips in line with the heels. Breathing here. As you're ready, finding stillness, inhale, halfway lift. On the exhale, swivel back to the front of your mat. Step straight back to 3-legged dog. Find those hip circles. Then as you're ready, slowly release those toes back to the earth. Downward facing dog. Find your flow or skip we'll all meet back in downward facing dog before we go to the other side. This time, lift your right leg, find those hip circles, and then bring the knee into the chest. Three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee comes across the body to left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee comes in between the hands. Plant the foot. Press into both feet. Notice your stance. Rise all the way up to your high crescent lunge. Landing here. Same thing as the other side. Find that length in the side body. Then as you're ready, cactus. Engage the back body. Inhale. Exhale. Curl. 2 more times, just like on the other side, an openness across the heart and the chest. Curling the elbows towards each other and guiding your prayer upward. We'll meet back in Warrior 2. I'm gonna adjust so I can actually see you. Then find your length, adjust your stance as needed. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, extended triangle. Or triangle, not extended triangle. Find length across the chest. Noticing. Pressing into both feet, tugging in those inner thighs, maybe gazing down at the toes. Inhale, reverse triangle. Feel that side body stretch, feel that length. Then as you're ready, find that swivel. We'll land back in a wide-legged forward fold. Once again, releasing the head and then finding intuitive movement. Shifting from side to side, allowing your head to release. Notice what you need and how can you find joy within these movements. For 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Taking your time. We'll land back in our wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Slowly swivel back to the top of your mat. Then take it all the way back to three-legged dog. Find those hip circles. And as you're ready, we'll land back in downward facing dog. Find child's pose. Hips sink towards the heels. Release. How can you show gratitude for this practice? Gratitude is one of the driving factors to joy. So as you land here, how can you be with it and remember what joy feels like? Landing and noticing. Where is your body holding tension? Can you soften just a smidge? Allowing your breath to elongate here, and then slowly coming up to a seat, we'll transition into butterfly position. So soles of the feet are together here, knees are out. Find a rootedness in the sits bones and then notice your shoulders. Can you allow them to slide down your back body? Inhale to find a little bit more length through the spine and then shift forward as you exhale. I like to have my inner thighs, or rather my knees on my elbows on my inner thighs. That can increase sensation. Notice what you need in your body and breathe with the sensation as you notice and remember what joy feels like. Close the knees. We'll transition to our backs, preparing for bridge pose. So now we'll set up for bridge pose. The fingertips might graze the heels, feet underneath the knees. Take a moment, then engage. Inhale, lift the hips off of the earth. On the exhale, we'll stay here and breathe. Imagine your thighs are hugging a block. In between them, find an even press in all points of contact with the earth, not the ends. Option to stay here. You can come down onto a block if you have one, or even interlace the fingertips underneath the sacrum. But notice breathing, slowly releasing, one vertebrae at a time. Then bring your knees into the chest. Find a rock from side to side. I like to massage the low back. We'll set up for reclined pigeon on our right here. So hug that right knee into the chest. Then bring the right ankle on top of that left knee. Option to stay here or to interlace that, to interlace the fingertips behind that left thigh. Always an invitation for movement, maybe a rock from side to side. Can you allow your shoulders to melt onto the earth? Guiding that right hip away from you energetically. Breathing here. Moments of tension. How can you still tap into joy? How can you breathe into the sensation? Have gratitude for the body, for the breath in this moment. And as you're ready, if you have the thigh, release it. Then fully cross your right knee on top of the left knee. Guide your hips over to the right and then let your knees fall to the left for a supine twist. Arms can expand, finding an openness across the heart, across the chest. Maybe you gaze over that right shoulder. Breathing here. On our inhales, we lengthen. On our exhales, we deepen. Noticing. As you're ready, unravel, unwind, and come back to center. Hugging the knees into the chest, massaging the blowback once more. And then we'll switch to the other side, hugging the left knee into the chest this time, bringing the left ankle on top of the right knee, pressing that left hip energetically away from the torso, and then if you want to, interlace it behind that right thigh. Allow your torso to rest here. Allowing the breath to guide the movement. And breathing into one thing that you enjoy in this moment. Joy is an emotion, but how can you live into it? Breathing here. Then slowly release. Find that full cross of the left knee on top of the right. Bump your hips to the left. Let your knees fall to the right. Maybe gazing away from the knees. Fully landing here. How can you invite more presence into this pose, into this sensation? How can you show gratitude in this moment? Allowing our breath to bring us back to center. Knees come into the chest, once again rocking from side to side. Then find a restorative happy baby pose. Or you can find a more active one by grabbing inner or outer arches. Restorative is my preference. I might just have tight hips though. So take what you need. Being with the body. Being with the breath. And with joy, there's no judgment. Then, taking your time, fully release onto the mat, find your Shavasana. Landing fully, we'll take a cleansing breath together, exhale all of the air out. Then take a deep inhale, fill all the way up, pause at the top. Open mouth, exhale, full release. Land in your Shavasana. Arriving here. Maybe you hear the sounds around you. How can you let them float by? If you would like to stay in Shavasana, feel free to do so. This is your practice. If you're ready to move on with your day, you can start to wiggle the fingers and the toes, adding movement, rolling the wrists and the ankles, finding a nice victorious body stretch, stretching arms up and overhead, toes toward the front edge of the mat. Then bring the knees into the chest. Find a rock from side to side, massaging the low back before rolling over to one side, finding supported fetal pose. As you land here, take a moment to root in and feel the earth beneath you. Notice the breath within you. Maybe ask yourself what you need to lean into joy as you come off of your mat today. Stay in this pose as long as you need, and then press up to a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. Find length in the spine, place the hands over each other. I like to end my classes in gratitude.
I like to end my classes in gratitude. Gratitude for the ancestors who have come before us. Gratitude for these ancient healing teachings that originate in East Asia, India, and North Africa. Gratitude to each and every one of you for showing up here and practicing with me today. With that, I bow to you and say thank you.